over 9.5 years ago, we would not have had a clue that we would be standing here today.
I asked myself, no, I can't not worry about 9/11. My world changed since 9/11.
The World Trade Center towers were constructed around a core, which were 48 massive steel columns in the center of the building that were continuously constructed all the way to the top, which means they were welded all the way to the top. They were continuous beams. They were not bolted together. The cross bracing was bolted together, but the core columns were actually continuous all the way to the top.
How could buildings, steel buildings, have collapsed in less than an hour due to fire when no other steel buildings in history have collapsed in less than an hour due to fire? In fact, they haven't collapsed.
Now, if you remember, we saw this top section come off, begin to fall. And in order for that to happen, these core columns would have all had to have been simultaneously cut. When this top section began to fall, it would have met the resistance of the core underneath of it. So it would have fallen over. It would not have fallen through the core.
And my biggest question is, why wasn't the biggest crime that has taken place on American soil, why was not that crime criminally investigated? Why didn't we have a criminal investigation? Why did we have a political investigation?
What can get rid of 40,000 tons of structural steel in 10 seconds? Well, the only way to get rid of these cores would be to cut them and melt them. It's the only way you can get rid of these cores in 10 seconds.
The chemical signature of thermite was found in the beams, slag, and dust sample.
This is a picture of the unignited nanothermite that has been found in the dust samples. We're not even talking about the reactants. We're talking about unignited chips of nanothermite. This is the smoking gun. This has been found, has been written about in the Open Chemical Physics Journal in 2009. What NIST says is that we would expect to find iron and aluminum in a pile of rubble, so we're not even going to look for it. This was actually requested by Congressman James Haynes that wrote to NIST. NIST replied that they would refuse to look for this material, when in fact we've actually found unignited particles in the dust itself, but they refused to look for it.
Max Cleland, a 9/11 commissioner who had resigned from the commission, said it's a national scandal. This investigation is now compromised. One of these days we'll have to get the full story because the 9/11 issue is so important to America.
But we are saying since 2009, new evidence equals a new investigation.
You can review this evidence and much more online at AE911Truth.org.